I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. So last week when you came in, we were talking a lot about how as school kind of winds down, you're pretty unsure about what you want to do, and the biggest kind of issue that you were facing was not feeling really supported by your dad, and that he didn't really understand what you wanted to do. Is that still something that you're struggling with and want to talk about?
Kind of. I mean, I've kind of just come to terms with, like, just doing what I want to do and what I need to do, regardless of how my dad thinks or feels, which is kind of upsetting, but I guess it's just something that I need to come to terms with.
Okay, and you feel like you kind of came to that, like, definite conclusion?
Yeah, a little bit. Like, I kind of just, everything that he says, I take in one ear, out the other, and, like, I just kind of feel emotionless when I'm with him. And I guess that's not a good thing since he is my dad, but I feel like I have to be that way now around him, or else I feel like he'll ruin my dreams of what I want to do.
Okay, so does it seem accurate to say that while you kind of acknowledge that maybe it's not the best relationship or the best way that you guys talk to each other, it's kind of like your best option at this point?
Yeah.
And that's just kind of the best you can do. It's just like listen and not take it in.
Yeah, just because I feel like if I take it in, he'll really do a great job of, like, manipulating what I want to do for my future and, like, what experiences I want to have and gain. So yeah, basically everything you said.
Okay. And then last time we touched a little bit on some of your ideas, but do you have any more ideas about these, like, experiences that you want to have kind of independently of your dad that you're looking at right now?
Well, I do want to explore more of what's within my passion of dance, but I also want to explore a little bit more of my passion within mental health. And either one, like, my family is kind of like, oh, that's too risky, you're not going to make a lot of money, and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I'm, like, trying to see if I can get a job at the place that I'm interning for by the end of the year. That way, hopefully I can, like, find a place with roommates, and that way I'll be able to be a little bit more independent.
Okay, yeah, we were talking about that last time also. How's that internship going?
It's going pretty good, yeah. I got my first 2 clients, which was really exciting. And really just, like, all that's happening is kind of like craziness, because ever since, like, the election, obviously, a lot of our clients are, like, undocumented, so a lot of it is just trying to get all their, like, legal papers in and, like, citizenship papers in before Christmas. That way hopefully they're processed by January 20th. So it's just been really stressful, but a good kind of stress in a weird way. That, like, I'm, using my time for something that I like, and I'm using it wisely.
Cool. So you would say the internship and basically work there has gotten really busy, but you're still really enjoying it, and you feel like it's really a good use of your time.
Yeah.
And you're still kind of on track for potentially getting a job with them.
Yeah, hopefully.
Cool. So that sounds like it's a really positive, like, potential direction that you could take. And then in terms of the dance, is that also still something that you're kind of equally considering?
I want to, but I also feel like I constantly stop myself from making it as confident as the mental health aspect, because, like, I often look at myself and doubt, like, okay, I'm not gonna make it, or, like, I don't have the right body type, or, like, I'm not as flexible as some of the other dancers. And like really thinking all of these things is what prevents me from actually doing anything within that field. And it kind of really upsets me because I wish I could just like silence all of that and go for it, like I do with mental health.
Okay. So you still have, would you say maybe they're kind of like self-confidence concerns around dance?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. But mental health, so you're kind of equally passionate about those things, but mental health, you see yourself a little more clearly, like confidently kind of going into, and dance you're upset about because you would like to also kind of just as confidently going into that as well, but you're, well, maybe you feel a little held back in that.
Yeah, especially like when I'm just, because I mean when you dance, like you have to stare at yourself in the mirror to see if you're getting everything right, obviously, and so like being forced to stare at myself in the mirror for hours can be just really, it can just be a lot of pressure and can make you really self-conscious because then you're forced to look at the things that you usually don't look at on a daily basis. And yeah, so I feel really self-conscious within the dance realm, and I don't want to be.
Okay. Can you talk a little bit more about the kind of, almost a little bit of like a contradiction? On the one hand, you love dance and are really passionate about it, and then also it can make you feel a little self-conscious. How do those two things kind of fit together?
Well, I think it's like one side of it, which is the love and the passion for it, like that's what I have and want to continue to have. But the self-conscious part is the reality of it, in a sense of like dancers not only have to deal with like societal norms of a woman's body, but they have to deal with societal norms of a woman's body and a dancer's norm of a woman's body. And so like having those two pressures put together can be really, really stressful. And my goal is to really to kind of be the dancer that I am when I'm like a mental health counselor, like to have that same confidence.
Oh, that's a really cool way of putting it. So a way to, your goal in dance is kind of to be the dancer that is as confident as you are when you are at your internship and at your work. Yeah. And so we also, you said your dad does not support you so much in these two things in the way that you would like, but towards that last time we were talking about how your brother kind of does, and had maybe in the past been kind of on the side of your dad but had really come around. Is that still a source of support and strength?
Yeah, my brother really supports me, especially with like the mental health part, because he sees how much I love it. And he definitely supports me with dance as well. But in a weird way, I feel like he'll support me a lot more with mental health than with dance. And it's not that he won't support me with dance, because he does. I think he'd just prefer it if I was a mental health counselor, because I guess it just comes with like cultural, beliefs of like a woman dancing and like being sexualized or whatever by other people or whatever. But yeah, he's definitely still a support system for me.
So you would say that while he'll support you really in whatever you do, he sees the mental health as maybe a little bit more conventional almost, and just kind of what he would prefer.
Yeah.
Okay. And do you live with both your dad and your brother?
Yeah.
And does he support you when you feel like, you were saying when it makes you sad, when your dad kind of tells you things and you just take it in one ear and not the other? Does he support you in those times as well?
Yeah, he's usually like, don't listen to dad, like he doesn't know what he's talking about, and yeah, he like reassures me like, dude, you're gonna be an awesome counselor, blah blah blah. So yeah, he is supportive, but he's also barely home too, so
Okay.
he's usually not there when these things happen. So usually like I'll call him or I'll wait till he gets home to tell him like, oh, this happened today.
Okay. So how would you say you feel in general at home? Do you spend, or do you spend a lot of time at home, or do you kind of try and not be home as much like your brother?
I used to try to not be home that much, but I think this year has just been hitting me really hard in a way that like I'm just too exhausted not to be home often. So yeah, I think I'm home more often than my brother, but like I wish I wasn't so exhausted, because if I wasn't so exhausted then I wouldn't be home that much.
And kind of go out and find other things to do.
Yeah.
On your time frame. So when you feel like you're at home more now, how do you feel at home in general? Like positive or just kind of negative all the time because of your dad?
I would say like just neutral now at this point, because yeah, I'm pretty much look at it as like a place to eat and sleep, and yeah, it's just pretty neutral.
Neutral. Okay. And so you said that hopefully when you either get the job working at the counseling place where you've been interning or some other job, you're hoping to get an apartment as well.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about that kind of goal that you're looking at.
I really just want to get an apartment with like 2 other people, and kind of like have my own living space.